Oh, don't mind Google.
And what's up, everyone? Welcome to Basic Entertainment. Welcome to our live spoiler talk of The Mandalorian Season 2. And of course, I have a full panel here tonight and some special guests returning. So let's start out with CertainVids. What's up, Certain? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? I appreciate you having me on here. I'm excited to talk about what went down on Friday. So let's do it.
Yeah, and we got Ewan from mChat. How you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
And we got my boy AJ Reacts from AJ Reacts 2.
Yeah, what's up? I'm ready for this.
And we got Chris from Talking TV.
Dude, I'm stoked to be here, Matt. You've assembled an amazing team, and I think that's a little fitting considering the finale we got. So yeah, I'm ready to jump into this, and thanks again for having me.
Of course, anytime. And we're going to be going to our, of course, recap of the episode. So let me see who should I pick. Who should I pick for this week? Hold on, give me a sec. Let me get this.
God, I hope it's not me.
Okay. Let me see. All right, Ewan from mChat. Let's do a recap.
Oh, the entire episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So we start out with Slave One chasing an Imperial shuttle, which has the Doctor that we'd seen in episode 4 of this season and last season. They capture him. Then they go to some planet to a bar. They recruit Bo-Katan. Boba has a little confrontation talking about how apparently he's not a Mandalorian. He doesn't deserve to wear the armor, all that kind of stuff. We figure all that out. Then we go to Moff Gideon's light cruiser. And they kind of set up at this stage a little thing where the Imperial shuttle with most of the characters, aside from Boba Fett, is then being chased by Boba Fett. Then they get into the shuttle. This really awesome shootout that we have with Fennec Shand, Cara Dune, Bo-Katan, and Cosca Reeves, I think her name is. That's Sasha Banks' character. They all shoot a bunch of stormtroopers, but Din Djarin is following behind. He's kind of staying outside, and he's going to actually get Grogu. He comes across the Dark Troopers, which is trying to lock in the cargo bay. One of them gets out. He has to fight that other one. He eventually kills it with a Beskar spear. And then he sends them all flying out into the void of space. He then goes and gets Grogu. However, Grogu is with Moff Gideon, who has the Darksaber. He kind of makes some sort of a deal where he says, I'll leave if you let me take Grogu and you can have the Darksaber. We'll all go. Whatever. I just want Grogu. So Moff Gideon agrees to that, but then right at the last second betrays him and a fight breaks out between the two. The Mandalorian takes down Moff Gideon and wins the Darksaber from him. He then takes them to the what's the word for it? The bridge. That's it. He takes them to the bridge, and Bo-Katan is not happy with him because he now owns the Darksaber, and for her to get it back, she now has to win it in combat. And I don't know what happens then. Oh yeah, that's when we get an X-wing fly in. And yeah, things go from there. Luke Skywalker kills a bunch of Dark Troopers in style, and then he comes and gets Grogu, and then basically the episode ends there. That's a brief recap, I guess you could say.
Yeah, shout out to mChat with that recap. Nice. I really like that, man.
Thank you.
So
Very
glad
detailed.
that wasn't me. I would not have done nearly as
Me
good.
too. You should have heard me last week.
It's all good. It's all good. And we got Luke reviews dropping in the comment. So who's the guy with the green glowing stick? I wonder who. Some just random Jedi. Who knows?
Darth Jar Jar.
That's what I said in
would.
my reaction. People didn't believe me, but yeah. So first impressions on the episode. First internal thoughts.
Yeah, I guess I'll just go first here. Man, I it's weird because I really loved it, but I just thought it was going to be a little more grandiose. It kind of felt a little short because, and I really think it revolves around the Dark Troopers. They were made out all season to be the end all be all. You guys will not be able to defeat them. You have to assemble the perfect team. And even then, it's going to take luck, right? And so then they have Luke Skywalker dismantle them in 5 minutes. And it just kind of takes me out of it, because Moff Gideon was pretty easily defeated after that turning point where, blocking with his Beskar plate armor, he quickly won that side of the fight and Gideon's on the ground and whatnot. And it just kind of felt a little anticlimactic, but it was so awesome at the same time that, like, I hate to hate on it. It just, the action didn't do it for me as much as the story beats. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go next.
Go for it.
Yeah, so just to kind of piggyback off Chris, I do feel like it was an epic episode. It had like a lot of epic aspects to it, but also it kind of fell flat on certain areas. Like we got Moff Gideon. He wasn't as menacing as we thought he was. He tried to take the coward's way out, and it was just like kind of like I kind of lost some respect for him in that aspect. Also with the Dark Troopers, I mean, I feel like the Dark Troopers kind of served their purpose in a way. But also, yes, I would like to have seen them, be a little bit more, like BA, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like overall, it was a good episode. But you guys are gonna hear how I feel about this episode, in the franchise, and how I feel about everything with that a little bit later. So a little bit longer than I'm sent, but
yeah. So I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was, I'd say, an awesome episode. I'd say fantastic is top tier, awesome just below that. So I thought it was a really good episode overall. I think it was the Luke part that really set it in stone. The rest of the episode I thought was really good, but it wasn't that top tier finale. I think the season 1 finale was actually better overall, but just the Luke thing kind of cemented it as being amazing. So
yeah, I think I gotta agree with Chris. The story, what's going on in the story, was better than the action. I think they just really lost some of their touch with the action this season in general. I mean, it was hilarious, don't get me wrong, but it was like, from a fight choreography standpoint, it was like really not great. So I was impressed with that, but overall, I enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed pretty much every episode, even though I have a lot of things that I don't like with each episode, but I was entertained, and I think the ending it left me on a pretty overall positive note for next season. So yeah, I did enjoy it.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna get into our episode questions. Oh no, my first impressions. So my first impressions is, God, I was shocked. I was happy. I had those giddy butterflies in my stomach when I saw a special someone. I thought it kind of left me wanting more a bit. But for a 30-minute episode, for having that much entertainment in it, I think it was a well-received, how it was. But I got to say, I got to disagree on some of your guys' points when it comes to the Dark Troopers. This is Luke freaking Skywalker.
I agree there with the Dark Trooper bit. I think it really shows that Luke is this all-powerful Jedi. Like everyone was struggling against these Dark Troopers, then Luke comes in and just wrecks them all. It just shows.
I feel like it fit his character.
I was just gonna say, they serve. Like I said, they serve their purpose, but I kind of like wish we would have saw a little bit more of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys don't think that they so undersold their strength that they just kind of looked like Luke was killing any old droid? Because if they're made out to be these big, bad, intense droids, then clearly Luke toppling them like that would have meant something had they given us a display of their strength.
I think they tried to do that when Mando had that, when Mando, had that one-on-one with one of them. They kind of tried to do that there, but I feel like it might not have been quite enough.
It wasn't. Yeah,
but-
See,
that
I was
like-
going to say it wasn't because Mando doesn't really beat him outside of just using his smarts, being a human and having that sort of level of thought to think outside the box, where a droid's very focused and like, you know, on one thing at a time. And that one time it was to kill Mando and nothing else mattered. So Mando kind of beat him situationally, I felt, but it was so quick that I just don't think out of all this season, hyping them up, that one moment wasn't enough for me to be like, oh, wow, Luke's gotten, because I wanted to see Luke get stronger since we had last seen him, because time had taken place. And I just didn't feel that. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. I guess it might be a small nitpick, but I don't know. It just kind of took me out of the episode a little bit. So
Yeah, I
get
kind of,
both sides.
yeah, this is what I wanted from Luke. I wanted to see him just go. I mean, his fighting style was reminiscing me of his dad. He was doing some moves that his Darth Vader did, but he was moving fast, right? R2D2 got there so late. So he was moving quick. He was moving like boom, 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 boom. And I feel like that's what I kind of wanted from Luke. I wanted him to be this all-powerful being Jedi. And you could make a point that, yeah, they had to nerf the Dark Troopers in that scene, but this is Luke. You know, this is what I expected from Luke. I expect no sweat from Luke. And yeah, I feel like that's what I got. And I don't know, man. Luke Skywalker is something else, man. This is post Return of the Jedi, and you know, he's supposed to full grown his power of being a Force user. But we got Stranger Boy in the comments.
I think
Shout out to
maybe
Stranger
we
Boy.
would. Yeah, I think maybe we would have been a little bit more satisfied if they utilized the Dark Troopers throughout the season, or
Yeah, I can.
like maybe the episode before it. You know, we kind of just get to see their true strength and like their true abilities. And
that's where I was
like they're-
coming from.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
where I was coming from. But I think Matt actually just raised a pretty good point. I kind of stopped paying attention to the filmmaking in this show, but the pace was established there. And I think that does sort of speak a little bit to Luke's growth. To me, though, I feel like if I have to get that after a conversation on like a panel that's going to go for an hour, maybe that's not the best execution for me. But I do agree with you guys. Maybe I'm just a little too critical of that. But I still stand on the original point, but you open my eyes up a bit.
I think that has to be one of my problems with the previous episode, which is the lack of maybe using the Dark Troopers, because we saw them in that Boba Fett episode, and we didn't see them. We could have utilized them more throughout the season, so that could have been a perfect place for them to put them. But yeah, so thoughts on the opening scene. So we get this opening scene, Boba tracking down, of course, the scientist, which the scientist was pretty cool in my opinion. He was like, he just was a scientist, like, shut up, you don't have the right to speak here. You know, that trooper was going on, man. That trooper was, yeah. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I guess I'll just take the lead this time. Then maybe we could switch the order up after this. I hate just monopolizing first place, but yeah, I thought it was cool. It was a bit corny at the same time. I think you know, Cara Dune all of a sudden got like her, you know, her rebellion badge renewed, and she's just like all in on just like this one thought process. So that was a little much for me, but it was important. I mean, you know, he's obviously a terrible person, like, so apprehend him, keep him down. But it felt a little sci-fi of the 90s, where situations happen to progress the plot, in my opinion. But it's fine. It was fun.
That was season 2 in its entirety, pretty much. But yeah, I don't have too many issues with that. I know what it is, and you know, we kind of just learn to accept that. You know, this is what the show is. Like, you know, there's certain situations that have to happen, and you know, there's side missions that have to happen.
Yeah, those side missions
to meet this end goal, this kind of cookie cutter end goal. But yeah, like hopefully in season 3 we kind of get a little bit away from that, and kind of start taking more risks and stuff like that we've talked about. But as far as the opening scene, I thought it was dope. I thought it was it really felt Star Wars-esque, and you know, with them, you know, following this, you know, the ship or whatever. And I love Cara Dune. I cannot get enough of Cara Dune. I that's just me. I know a lot of people don't really care about her, but you know, that's me. So I enjoyed it for the most part.
We go down to CERN and go back to mChat.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I didn't have too many problems. I think it was a little weird that Cara Dune stands there. Like if her end goal was just to shoot him in the face, I think it was like kind of risky to just like let him talk and like risk the scientist dying. Just shoot him from the face. You shoot him in the face from the get go. A little contrived. Other than that, it was cool. Like, you know, special effects were looking good, so I don't have too many problems. It was like a nice, you know, I like how they didn't show him, show Mando getting on the ship. It was like, oh crap, he's on the ship now. I like that. So over, not too many problems in that. I thought it was a cool sequence. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I mean, I didn't really think anything of it. I thought, you know, that's further the plot, and the whole thing with Cara not shooting the Imperial officer or whatever he was. I think that was just a character building moment where it was trying to build Cara Dune's backstory a bit, even though we know exactly what it is, that everyone on the planet died. That's no secret.
I think they wanted to build tension as well with that sequence.
What's that?
I just said I think they wanted to build tension with that sequence as well.
Yeah, basically.
And we get those low, you know, back shots of which Death Star, you know, so a little back and forth bickering on, you know, just off that. But yeah, I that scene in particular, the trooper, like I said, he was going hard, but it was a bit too hard. He kind of felt kind of corny, in my opinion. But yeah, just a little bit too much.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Vids when he was like, the word contrived, I think, is a harsh word. So I hate to use it often, but I agree when you used it for this specific moment of the episode. It just felt forced to me.
A bit forced. So thoughts on a little script.
What I was gonna say is like I get like the whole tension thing is just like it just takes you out of it a little bit because it's like you want to build that tension, but you're doing it in such a like contrived way. It's like you're doing it at the expense of writing. So it's like, you know, it's take it or leave it. But I get what they were doing. It was just like a little for me.
Like when we're discussing when Cara Dune shoots the Imperial officer. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I kind of felt that same way when they were with Bill Burr in the one episode.
Was
the
this
one before that?
Last episode.
With that officer there, it kind of felt the same way.
Yeah.
And
I think that was a bit better though. I thought.
I think that was a better too. That was better.
Yeah, I would agree. But also I feel like they wanted to show the audience that like this person deserved to die as well. Like because they don't, you know, these are characters that are not necessarily the good guys, but they want to have like a moral compass. They want to show that they have a moral compass. And you know, if they just shoot people willy nilly, you know, we kind of have.
I mean, the guy's an imp, so it's like a little. I don't know. The guy's an imp, so it's like, you know, if you want to show that he deserved it, he's kind of already deserving. I don't know. That's just me. But it's like,
I agree, but they want that extra, you know, cake, you know, topping on the cake. You know, what I'm saying?
There's multiple points throughout the season like that. There's a lot, but it's nothing new.
Yeah,
I do like how it kind of showed a different perspective though of what the rebellion is, because he mentions about how when the Death Star was blown up, millions of lives were lost. And you don't really think about that in these kind of things. Both of them, I guess. Yeah.
Just add some layers into it.
Yeah.
Definitely it does. I think that's one of the things that this show does the best. And it's unfortunate because they do it the least often, where they show the effects of what happens in this whole Empire versus Rebellion effect on the human beings and the aliens and species that just are trying to get by and could care less. Unfortunately, they're born on Tatooine, so they're occupied by the Empire, but they obviously wouldn't want that in a perfect world. I do enjoy that a part of this show. Unfortunately, we don't get it that often. We kind of get like Yoda eating, baby Yoda eating macaroons, but
yeah, that's true. That's a real good aspect of the show, is that it brings that layer of like the Empire, the Rebellion, and it just more of that is needed. I can understand that, but we got it so late. So yeah. I don't really
wanted it as well.
Actually, even more. Folks that are kind of like in between, not necessarily, you know, for the Rebellion, not necessarily for, you know, Empire.
Yeah,
I think we need that a little bit more.
Benicio del Toro's character in Last Jedi, he was a bit like that, where he was talking about how, people were selling both to the Empire and the Rebellion or the First Order and the Resistance in this case.
Yeah.
And it was like both sides are exactly the same when it comes down to what it is.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's kind of Mayfield was saying to Mando in that one episode where we're kind of like you're not that different from me, So and I really like that aspect.
Yeah. So we get into meeting Bo-Katan, and we get this little scrimmage between Bo and Sasha Banks. Boba Fett. So what's your guys' thoughts on that? I thought that was pretty funny. The little dialogue exchange they had there, and yeah. Go with Chris. Back down to mChat.
Actually, do you want to reverse the order? I hate going first and just like.
Okay.
Yeah.
We could do. Yeah, we could go that.
You can go first.
I don't want to monopolize it,
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this scene. I mean, I love seeing Boba Fett do anything in this show. Every time he speaks, he's just got a really, really cool voice, and he's menacing, but at the same time, he's kind of got a little bit of humor to him as well. And he's just, I love the character. He's badass. And seeing him go up against Sasha Banks' character, just throwing her around and throwing her through a table, I just love seeing that stuff.
Yeah. That's like one of the few, I think. Maybe not few, but that's some of the better fights that the show's had, I think, this season. But my only little thing is I'm not sure when they're throwing flames at each other. I don't know if that's how flames work, but it's I'll allow it. But other than that, yeah, it was a cool fight. I just like the cool fight. It was nice. I especially like the dialogue. It was good. I think it's because I don't know who plays Boba Fett, but he's a good actor. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go with this. I might have to disagree a little bit with this. I didn't really care for the fight scene. The dialogue was great, and the banter was amazing. I thought it was hilarious, and I thought it was well done. But the fact that they were in this bar, they kind of have this same goal, and they're fighting like this. It felt a little forced, like they wanted to show off these abilities of these characters, and it's just like, why are they fighting each other? So that was me. That's how I saw it. But
It felt like they were fueling a spinoff for you.
yeah, like it felt a little forced, like I said. But.
I gotcha. I think I have to disagree with AJ's disagreeing, because I actually thought that was the best choreography in the whole episode, and I'm not just trolling or anything. I genuinely believe that, because it had a purpose that showed Boba's character, even though he's contained, he has a limit, and we saw him get pushed to that limit. And it also shows, Sasha Banks' character in regards to, she's not just like Bo-Katan's right hand. She is a proud Mandalorian, and they have a code of conduct, and not anyone can just wear that armor. So I thought the world building in the exchange of dialogue, but then fueled by their actions afterwards, sort of escalating the situation, was kind of more of that Star Wars that we were just talking about, where it's like there's more than just these Skywalkers, and I want to see more than just these Skywalkers, and I want to see more of what other goings-ons are, because, there's legends and extended canon that have planets we've probably never even heard of, because we stay on the same four. And I sound like a broken record, but that's why I enjoyed that scene. So
yeah, it was cool to see these two characters and these two ideals kind of battle into each other. When she says, "Oh, you mean your donor?" I'm like, "Damn!" What is she's going in. It was cool. It was a real cool scene. I was kind of like, Boba, come on, calm down, relax a bit. So yeah,
a little.
I was like, grab an edge,
like,
Boba.
Slap in the
calm
face,
down.
Take
your
a chill
donor,
pill,
that was disrespectful in my opinion.
It's like that. That's a situation that escalated really quickly, and it really did not need to.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But hey,
really could have been kept respectful, but okay.
But I kind of like that because
It was silly, AJ. I will give you that.
Yeah, I kind of like it because he's not, like I said, he's in a way playing the ugly. He's playing this anti-hero, and that's what his journeys are going to be. And we're, of course, we're going to talk about that. But he's kind of an anti-hero, and they need to play into that anti-hero, because if he plays just like Mando, then where's the difference? Where's the characters? Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so thoughts on the little strategy getting into the light cruiser?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean it's smart. Obviously, they can't just go in Slave One because it's not an Imperial shuttle. But at the same time, I think the fact that they were trying to go straight in when all the Tie fighters were coming out, it seems a bit suspicious when they were completely not listening to orders. But
Yeah.
they kind of have to do somewhat of a improvisation.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, I don't really care. I don't really know like what's a better plan.
Yeah.
They just came up with that. If I rewatch it and I actually think about it logically, maybe there was a better option. But right now, off the top of my head, it's a decent plan, and it seems to work out in the end, based on luck, yes, but still. So yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was a good plan. I thought it was it was clever, and it was kind of elaborate, and I thought I mean, obviously it worked out. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you bring this specific moment up, Matt, because we're actually like putting a video out on our channel, 32 logical ways that they could have handled that situation better. We're just figuring out what to title that situation. No, I'm just kidding. But it was super convenient the way that they went about it. That's what I meant when I said that 90s sci-fi, where it's just like, hey, look, we got these plot points written down. We just got to get there. Whatever
Just
happens,
connect them.
happens,
Just connect
because
them.
you're here for the ride. So let's just hit beat 1, beat 2, beat 3. We're in the shuttle. Bam, they're fighting. Like, it just seemed like that's how it was.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It was fun. It was fine. I mean, the one thing I do enjoy is the way they've been sort of showing Bo-Katan collecting vehicles and weapons and
Yeah.
armor. It seems like they're building up to something. So I do appreciate the subtlety there and the attention to detail with every decision she makes seems really calculated.
Yeah. No, that's true. And I kind of like the face expressions that Moff Gideon was seeing. He kind of knew what was up. He knew that was all BS. That he send the TIE fighters, and yeah, he knew what was up. So yeah. So thoughts on Payne Reed's directing second time around? Ewan, take it away.
Yeah, it was surprising. I think like the night before the episode came out, they said, "Oh, Peyton Reed's directing," and that got me a little bit worried because the last episode that he directed was the worst of this season, arguably. And I think most people, aside from certain, because I know you like that episode, most people agree with that. And the Ant-Man movies, I enjoy; they're fun, but I didn't see him as someone to direct a finale, not like Taika did last season. Obviously, he's much more from a comedic background, similar to what Peyton Reed is, but generally I'd argue he's a better director. But he surprised me. The finale was pretty well directed for one, and just solid overall.
Yeah, I think obviously I liked episode 2, so I think I found out the day before that he was going to do it. I was just like, I didn't really know what to expect. I saw it and it was a really different tone. I think it was like really different pace. It was like the way the episode was moving was really different than the way it was the last time. So I'm sure people appreciated that because people didn't really dig the slow burn type of stuff going on last time. But I dug it. I've liked the 2 episodes he's done. So I was on board.
Yeah, so I didn't know that he directed until after I saw the episode. So it did, I had a different perspective on it. I thought it was really well done. I didn't hate the second episode. I think I gave it a 8 out of 10. It wasn't the worst. It definitely wasn't the best. It's like lower tier for this season. But yeah, it was good, and I thought the pacing was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, AJ. I never know until the episode's over. I actually kind of enjoy just getting that credit pop up and be like, oh, that was BDH. Oh, okay, cool. Filoni. Yeah, I like that. To me, it's because I don't want a preconceived notion going in. I want the purest experience I can get. So I try to avoid it. And really a lot of that's like, hey, Dom, don't text me any information you may know that I don't. Because Dom's on top of it.
Yeah,
but
he's got to know everything.
And so I was, I was pleasantly surprised, although I do have my issues, and I'm sure we'll get there. It seems we're working through the episode chronologically because I'm with everyone, really. I'm with the people when we say that the second episode wasn't the best. I don't want to completely trash it because I think overall, better season. But yeah, I mean, Peyton Reed has never really impressed me. Ant-Man, take it or leave it. It's not, no pun intended, the most insignificant and smallest part of the MCU, to me, it doesn't affect me in a way that a lot of people are like, I gotta go see like Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, I think it came out in January and there was like a snowstorm, and I think I waited a week. Like, I wasn't risking it the night of to go see, Ant-Man. So like Peyton Reed's never hooked me, but I think he did a decent job this episode for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with you guys too. The pacing, it never felt dull to me. I always felt like something was happening, and sometimes there was tension being built that we're gonna get into. It didn't really have to be built in that certain situations, but no, man, I was thoroughly surprised hearing this. Of course, I said, when I heard that, like, just mChat, when I heard that he was directing it, I was a bit scared. I was like, oh no, is he really a guy who can cap off a finale of a season? Like, he doesn't seem like the guy to do it. He seems like a guy who could do a solid filler, and that's what we got from The Passenger, in my opinion, which was a solid filler. But his directing was differently in tone, and yeah, man, it's still some bland shots here and there. He could work the camera just a bit more, but no, man, I think he did a pretty solid job with this. Okay, so thoughts on Giancarlo Espinosa's final, I guess you want to say, appearance and full-fledged appearance as Moff Gideon?
Yeah, I can keep this quick if we want to like reverse the order back. I just
Go for it.
Yeah, go on.
kind of
Yeah,
got
go on. Yeah.
my thoughts have been made on this for a while. He is an incredible actor, and I feel like he is being so underutilized in this series. It's borderline criminal. I want to know his motivations. I want to know his devious plan because I know him as a character. It would enrich that, but I just don't. I don't have anything from him, so I'm just left with a big name playing a character that I've seen for 2 seasons, but couldn't name really anything important about. It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, Giancarlo, he's menacing. I don't know if anybody else has seen Breaking Bad, or Better Call Saul, but you just know, like, when you see him, that this man, he means business. With this finale, though, I feel like his character really fell flat, and I was disappointed to see that he was utilized in this way. So maybe in the future, since they didn't kill him off, he might have some redeeming qualities. But after that, I lost a lot of respect for him, for that character. I did.
Ooh, hot take.
Yeah, I think I gotta agree with the. I gotta hop on the bandwagon. I think I doubt he's gonna come back, because like the one thing he had going was like, oh, he has the dark saber. What's gonna happen with that? Dark saber's with Mando now, so it's like, all right. He's I would have been more mad if they actually went through with the whole, oh, he's just gonna let Mando go, which I knew that was never gonna happen. It was never gonna happen. If they went through with that, it would have been like just completely out of left field. So that would have made me more mad. But it was just like you can tell he's doing a great job. You can tell he's a great actor, but he's just there. He's a what do you call it? He's a plot device. He's just there for the sake of it, and it's like, you don't really, like Chris said, you don't really know anything about him. So it's like, what do I do with this guy? Like he's doing the best he can, which I'm sure that's not like the best he can, but he's doing a great job. But that's all I know about him. Yeah, with what he's given, he's doing a great job. But it's like, what else is there really? Like, even when he was fighting Mando, I never really felt like Mando was in any state of danger, and that's partly because he has Beskar, which is just plot armor. So it's like that's part of it. But it's like he doesn't pose a threat. He didn't pose a threat to me. So it's like, I didn't really care for him. So I did lose respect for him as a villain. I agree with AJ.
I'm gonna come in with a bit of a hot take here. I think he's a pretty great character. Now, he's not built as a great character with lots of backstory, motivation, everything like that. But he's smart because he knew what he was doing. I'd say he probably let Mando beat him simply because he knew he'd take the Darksaber, and that would very much piss Bo-Katan off. But yeah, I thought he was pretty solid, and I think when it comes to the fighting, he's not really built as a fighter. If you consider, like, say, Grand Moff Tarkin, you can't imagine him wielding a Darksaber taking on the Mandalorian. They are similar characters in similar positions, so he's not a fighter. He's not Sith. He's not Jedi. So, I don't really have an issue. And obviously, the actor's fantastic. I think we just need a little bit more backstory, which I think we'll get in season 3. I don't think he's gone. I think he's going to remain as a integral part to the series. But I guess we'll just have to see when season 3 comes around.
Maybe a prisoner. Maybe he could be a prisoner next season.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's under Thrawn, so whenever Thrawn shows up, we'll see a bit more of him. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think whatever they choose to do with him. Sorry, Matt.
No, you're good.
I'll keep it quick. Whatever they choose to do with him, just make him feel more than just a way to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, make him a bit more of a compelling villain.
Exactly. Compelling is a great word. It's because he's not to me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna have to join with you guys. I was blown away with his acting. I think the little nuances of what he was doing was pretty cool. Like, oh, grabbing a gun, I'm gonna hide it, or the little facial expression. It's a lot of that, and we saw from previous episodes how intimidating he looks, menacing he looks, and he was just, dude, Giancarlo Espinosa is a beast, man. That boy's a beast, but they need to give him more. They really need to give him more. The motivations were kind of lacklusting, and I just needed to get more information about him. All we got was the Darksaber. And they didn't explore the Darksaber of how he got the Darksaber, how he kind of connected with. Yeah,
I think they will explore that because we've still got Bo-Katan here, and I think that because we've got Bo-Katan, I think she's going to be a mainstay on the show. I think that next season, future seasons, I think we might explore that in a little bit more detail.
I would love to rebuild Mandalore. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I think that's where the show's going. It seems like it's going that direction now.
Real quick though, Matt, because Friday night you had because I haven't seen Rebels yet. I've seen Clone Wars, not Rebels. You blew my mind when you said that they broke the rules of the Darksaber too.
Exactly.
So what the hell, right? I've looked up stuff on it since, and it's kind of weird. I don't know what's going on there because Filoni was the guy behind Rebels, and he's the guy behind The Mandalorian. So for those of you who have seen Rebels, I don't want to throw it too off course, but do you guys have quick thoughts on that?
Yeah, go
Who
ahead.
wants to go first? Oh, right. I don't think they're breaking the rules. I think they're going to bend them and explain it next season or whatever. I think they'll say that if you've lost it in combat, you have to regain it in combat. They never specifically mentioned, the way that you had to get it back if you've lost it, because the way that Bo-Katan got the Darksaber originally, she's handed it over, but she never lost it before. So I think that might be the difference. If you've lost it, you have to then properly regain it. I don't know whether that's the case, but if they want to try and fix it, then just bend the rules slightly.
Yeah. I was sitting there. I'm like, what? Didn't you just get like? It's like, wow. It was really jarring. It was like really jarring. I'm sitting there. I'm like, didn't you? You didn't get the. So I hope they fix it. I hope they fix it because it's like right now that makes no sense. There's no way around it. They're like right now that makes no sense. So I hope they fix that because that's really weird. That's really strange.
I think it's gonna go into Bo-Katan of like maybe she just took it and she was too kind of like she got it. She didn't feel like she earned, or it's like she lost it and she just doesn't want to lose it again. She maybe found a new respect, even another layer of respect for the Darksaber. They're gonna have to explain it in season 3 because I thought about that scene. I was like, wait, hold up. Didn't Sabine did this to give the saber to Bo? Like, well, okay, so what? Why the rules change here? So, yeah. I feel like it was a tension builder. Like they were just trying to build tension instead of trying to follow their plot and their rules. But yeah.
The only problem is, though, I have a feeling that's going to be like the main focus of the story, and if it is, then they've screwed it up, basically.
Yeah. They gotta fix it in a way. Yeah.
It's just concerning to hear, Vids use the word fix. You just said it too, like because fixing means there's a problem. You fix a problem.
Yeah.
It doesn't give me too much faith, unfortunately, for something I was really starting to love.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, if you hadn't seen Rebels, you're taking Moff Gideon's word as gospel, and it's just like when you find that out, it's just kind of like a little bit of a letdown, but also like, are these the same rules that they're abiding by in these two different shows? I don't know, and Like Chris said, we don't really want to have to fix different things that it seems sloppy. So I don't know.
Yeah, it could be sloppy writing right there.
I
So
hope
we
that's
gotta,
not the case.
yeah. So we gotta mention from when Moff Gideon was talking to okay, hold on. We got a comment from Anakin Skywalker. Sabine, I believe, found it, and that's why she accepted the Darksaber. What's your thoughts on that, mChat?
Didn't she get it from Maul? I'm sure she got it from Maul. Could be wrong.
Yeah, she got it from Maul. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think
I
about.
don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. They're gonna have to try and fix it somehow, whether they bend the rules or explain something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go back and go check out Rebels again and check out those that season because I watched it.
I'm working through Clone Wars at the minute, so once I've done that, I'm going through Rebels as well.
I watched it, but
for the show, man.
Yeah, I watched it, but it's like I kind of forgot about it in a way. I just remember the characters. And some certain storylines. So so Moff Gideon had this conversation with Mando, and he mentioned that his Grogu's blood type is special, and he needs it to repair the Empire. Is that a connection, or some type of connection to, I want to say, Palpatine, Snoke, using his blood type?
So. I think that's, whether they'll explain that, I don't know. I'd imagine it's going to be a plot point, but I think it's pretty much 90% guaranteed that that's somehow connected to Snoke, which is somehow connected to Palpatine. It all makes sense, really. I don't know why it would be there, and it seems obvious to me, and if it's not that, then it would be a bit weird.
Yeah. I think, because what I think they're doing is, like, you have this trilogy and then you have this trilogy, and what happened between you don't really know, so they're like filling in the gaps for you. So I would imagine it's connected.
Rogue One.
Yeah, so I it could not be, but if it is, then that makes sense. Yeah.
AJ, you want to go? You want me to take it?
Oh, Chris, you can go ahead. I don't really have much to say about this topic. So.
Okay, no, fair enough. I think it's so ironic because, like, Carrie Fisher, after she was done sort of being in front of the screen, she had a career of being a fixer where she would go in and correct these scripts that were in, like, DEFCON 1, about to be just terminated and destroyed, and, like, really clean up these movies and help them come out and actually make them successful, where they had just gotten so far from the original vision. And Filoni kind of did that for the prequels, didn't he? So I wonder if there's been some backdoor meetings where they know they messed up. Colin Trevorrow's script is gaining traction by the day on the internet. People are like, wow, you could have done something really awesome with these characters, and you didn't, because money talks, and apparently, creativity walks these days. So I wonder if there's something there to sort of make, because I'm not going to lie to you, a big part of why I love the prequels, I'd say more than I already did, is because of how well done Clone Wars was, and I can't wait to watch Rebels. And I wonder if there's something there, because, like Ewan said, it'd be super easy to connect those dots.
It seems like The Mandalorian, or maybe other shows as well, are just going to try and improve what the sequels are. So I think in years to come, people will respect the storytelling there. It's like the prequels now. People have much more of a respect for the story, the characters, not necessarily how the films are made, because, the script is still a problem, the dialogue's still a problem, and the effects definitely don't hold up either. But in terms of the singular vision of George Lucas, people now understand it a little bit better because of Clone Wars and how it, gives a bit more depth to Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi and all these other characters, and just the lore surrounding that era.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with that. It seems like another prequel situation where, of course, when the prequels came out, people bashed them, and then the Clone Wars came out, and it give that a layer of depth for the prequels. Of course, the clones and the storytelling, and it seems like we're heading in the same direction with the sequels. They're gonna try to, I don't want to say retcon. No, I'm not gonna use that word, retcon. I think they might have to retcon certain things because sequels went extreme in certain places, but overall, I just think I'm kind of scared that we're getting into sequel territory with certain things of of course this show trying to connect to we got Luke, right? Which we're going to move on to our next topic. So I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit worried how they're going to fix it. But if I have a choice to a person to kind of help me cope with the sequels that actually happen, I'm going to give it to Filoni and Jon Favreau. I think those are the two guys who can help me cope with this sequel mess, in my opinion.
I agree. I think I wouldn't be upset if they did that. I actually really enjoyed the characters. Finn, Rey, Poe. They're charming in a way, and there's so much potential with them. It's unfortunate what happened with them. Obviously, that's nothing no one doesn't know, right? But I would love to see them sort of say they harvested the midichlorians in this time era, then we jump 30, 25 years roughly to Rey's age, and now we have these Snoke super beings because it's just progressed further and further, the scientific technology and the discoveries, because they did say they got what they needed from Grogu.
Yeah.
You could have him back, right? That's what he said. We got what we needed. And that'd be cool if they did that. But again, I just want to get away from these damn Skywalkers, though, too, at the end of the day.
It seems like we're not going to get rid of go away from these Skywalkers. From the direction they're heading, it doesn't seem that way. And I know your gut reaction hates that. For me, I kind of hate it too. But man,
nostalgia talks. Nostalgia
talks. But Disney is known for, hey, remember Star Wars? The memory berries. They need to get away from that. They really do. I do agree with you on that, Chris.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Luke. What was your internal reaction of seeing that X-Wing pass by? And did it hit you in the moment? Did he get those butterflies? Did he get that excitement, that joy of seeing Luke?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so when the first X-Wing flew in, I thought, there's going to be a load more X-Wings, and we'll get a Rise of Skywalker situation where a bunch of nameless ships flying that we don't care about. But then it was like, no, it's just one X-Wing. I was like, they're doing it. No way are they doing it. And then it just keeps going. See a cloaked figure walking through the hallway, pulls out a lightsaber. Wow, what a great moment! It was like an Endgame moment where I feel like if everyone was in, watching it on the big screen in like a massive crowd, everyone would be just screaming their heads off. It would have been such a magical moment to witness on screen. But it was still a magical moment witnessing it on my own, watching it. And yeah, Luke Skywalker's back. I love it.
Love Luke.
Me too.
Cern?
Yeah, I was thinking like the same thing. I was like, okay, one X-Wing showed up, and then she's like, oh, one X-Wing were saved, but yada yada yada. And I was like, okay, we might get a couple more. I thought it was gonna be the same guys who were in episode 2, who said,
that would have been so underwhelming if it was.
I thought it would have been anticlimactic.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be those guys. I'm like, what are they gonna do exactly? So that was weird, but it was Luke, and it was cool. He was just like he was just Darth Vadering all the Dark Troopers. It was cool. It was really cool. It was a fun moment. I liked it. I really did. CGI was, but overall, it was a fun moment. It was a fun moment. I liked it.
Yeah. So I would agree. I thought the moment was epic, and when we were seeing the cloaked figure on the teleprompter, the screen. It was just black and white. So we knew, but we didn't really know. And then, they brought us into, that sequence where you could actually see color and you saw that green saber. And, I was on the couch, but I was like, like I was rooting for it. And then, Mando is wanting to open the doors, and Sasha Banks' character is like, okay, he took out the dark troopers, but we don't know who this is. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, why is Mando like so eager to open this door for this, figure or whatever? So he opens the door, presses the button, and we see the figure, and he, takes off his hood, and we see, and I'm like, who is this? Is this?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
I was like, who is this? Is this an actor playing Luke? Like, I could tell, they showed his hand. His saying it was fake. So we knew it was Luke, but we didn't know like if it was Sebastian Stan playing Luke Skywalker. We didn't know until we kind of took a closer look, and like this de-aging technology, I was a bit underwhelmed. That might be a hot take. I was a bit underwhelmed because, when he started speaking, like the rest of his face wasn't, you couldn't see, his face.
It wasn't
like,
matching up.
moving.
Yeah.
It wasn't moving,
Yeah.
but like his lips were moving. So that was interesting, but it was a little underwhelming in a way. But yeah, I thought the whole sequence, as a whole, it was dope. It was awesome. Like if I was saying, like if we were in a theater, we would be, at the edge of our seats, screaming, all that, the end game moment. But
End game moment. Yep.
but afterwards, I kind of started to think about what it meant for the franchise, what it meant for the show itself, and I was a little disappointed. I mean, I won't even say a little. I was definitely disappointed about introducing Skywalker into this show. I didn't want it. We talked about it. I didn't want Luke in the show for certain reasons. It was awesome to see him, but what it means for the show, the franchise, and the show, the future of the show, I don't know. I'm a bit disappointed. I know that was a lot. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're
Chris,
good.
okay.
Damn, AJ, leave me
I
something
know,
to say,
right? I'm
man.
sorry.
No, I agree with a lot of what you just said. Seriously, I mean, I know I complain about the member berries maybe more than most people anyone's ever met, but I'm human, and I'm not perfect, and some moments get me. And when I saw that glove, and then I was like, all right, well, Cal Kestis wore gloves, because I was really hoping it was Cal Kestis from the Jedi Fallen Order game. I forget his name right now, but he's one of the kids on Shameless, which is a show that I really love, and he's one hell of an actor. And he was more than fitting to jump into that role. He's the right age. He's everything that could save the Mandalorian, fix the issue of wanting to expand the galaxy while still pushing this narrative forward. But we got Luke, and it was awesome. I mean, he's Luke Skywalker, man. I hate to say anything bad about him because his father's literally in the chat right now. There was one issue. It's just that he looked a little weird. Like,
Yeah.
I'm with you. The CGI vids wasn't the strongest, in my opinion. I don't like this facial recognition technology or whatever they do, the de-aging, right? That's what they call it. But what's further was weird, and I am an audio guy, so maybe this is just me, and let me know if it's just me. He didn't sound like Luke. He sounded a little funky. Like it didn't quite sound like Mark Hamill. Something was off there with the tone of his voice.
Yeah.
I think it was more of I think it was more of the face didn't match the voice didn't match up with the face. He sounded like Mark Hamill to me, but the face didn't match up. It's a bit like like the aging was a bit glitchy. Yeah,
It's
a little stiff. Yeah.
I can understand it because it's like TV budget, but even though like Mandalorian's like crazy expensive, but it's like still like limited, so I can see that. But it was like really hard. What I thought they were gonna do is they were just gonna like have him show up with the hood and everything, so like people like subliminally knew it's Luke, but it's not. They don't really show him. I thought that was what they were gonna do, but they took the hood off. It was fun. The best part of that scene was hearing Luke's theme from the original trilogy again. That was my favorite part. That was
a great
name.
moment. It's just one of those things, though, where to me personally, it just feels weird. All the different characters we've met this season, Ahsoka could have came back. You're trying to really build this universe, and you choose to do this weird de-aging technology. It's always off-putting to me. I love my practical effects in my sci-fi. I think that's something that makes it feel real and special. And it's just always a weird choice. I'll never forget how jarring Leia was that first time. It just didn't line up the way I wanted it to. And it just feels kind of disrespectful in a way, too, to like the old films and stuff. I just don't like it. I honestly, I don't. So if there was one downfall with the Luke moment, it would be just the appearance of him.
Oh,
the physical, not
the physical,
what he did in his acting, just the way he looked.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest complaint, and that's what was one of my takeaways from that. So we got Anakin Skywalker, of course, the son of Luke Skywalker, or dad Luke Skywalker. It was Mark Hamill 100%. If you look closely, you can see the posture of Mark Hamill. His hands give it away when he used the Force push. His actions, the choreography was a bit, like I said, faster. Of course, back in the 80s, late 80s or early 80s, 83, Return of the Jedi, he was just swinging it. It was no real choreograph at all. This one they put a little bit more effort into it. It was definitely Mark. Look closely at the camera. When Grogu sees Luke walking past the camera screen, that was Mark Posh. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for the comments, Anakin. But I gotta say, I love the moment as much. I thought it was very rewarding as a Luke fan and rewarding for Mark Hamill because we heard all the time when Mark Hamill was on his Last Jedi junket and marketing that movie. He's like, "This." I'm trying to do my best Mark Hamill impression. This is not Star Wars. It's turning into Transformers. Like when he was doing all that, like and just really just coming at Kathleen Kennedy, subliminally and just talking about it. It really broke my heart because I know I'm a character guy. I want my characters acting, like their characters, how they were before. And Last Jedi made a pivotal move of trying to change it into, a secluded old man that was sucking aliens' milk and stuff. It was a bit odd what they were doing with Luke, and in that sense, he still had a way of showing his power. But this is the Luke I wanted. I wanted to see this Luke. And I know for sure Mark Hamill was so happy to be like, yes, this is my Luke. And like he came back and he's loving it, man. He's a fan. Mark Hamill's a fan of Luke Skywalker, and you can really tell. He's not like Harrison Ford. Don't call me back. I'm not doing Star Wars anymore. He's not that. This is Mark Hamill, and I love Mark Hamill, man. He's always down for his business. So yeah. Hopefully my impression was good enough. I'm working on it.
It was pretty good.
So
yeah, I definitely think Mark Hamill was fired up to be asked to do that role.
I wonder if they'll get Harrison Ford back to play Han Solo.
Hell no, dude.
I don't know,
man.
I don't know.
They got him for Indiana Jones. They got him to come back for Indiana Jones. So I don't know.
But he liked.
They'll say,
They'll
probably say we'll fast track Indiana Jones if you do this one appearance.
Ooh,
And then he might.
Disney,
from the nursing home.
The movie will actually come out if you show up.
right?
Yeah.
We're canceling the movie if you don't do this appearance. There you go.
Spielberg had to play with it. Him getting in Rise of Skywalker.
I think he did that because of Carrie Fisher. Really, I think that's the reason he did it.
Yeah, it could be that.
Skywalker. Yeah.
No, that was. I mean,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she passed away, and they were still filming. I don't know. It just was very off-putting to me, borderline. I just felt, even though it wasn't disrespectful, it's just like, ugh, I wouldn't do that personally. But
You're talking about the scene in Rise of Skywalker?
yeah, when they brought her back and
Oh,
towards the end.
yeah.
Oh, you mean later?
And I may have a bad taste in my mouth from this de-aging technology because of that moment, but also.
Are we on about the training scene in Rise of Skywalker?
That whole movie's pretty weird, man. I mean, like Matt said, like they have Luke doing things that I don't even think Luke knew. Like, unless Luke went crazy on that island, and this is like Luke in like some weird dream that he can't wake up out of. I don't even think Luke would do those things if he was able to like write himself, because that was just weird.
No, but I think that little moment, Harrison Ford and Kylo Ren was probably one of the highlight moments of Rise of Skywalker. I think that was nice.
Yeah.
So so we're gonna get into our positives of the episode. So let's start with mChat and let's go back with Chris and back to me.
Luke Skywalker. That's all I'll say. That's all I need to say about the positives. No, but seriously, Luke Skywalker is obviously the top. I just thought it was a very satisfying conclusion. I think if they weren't doing a season 3, I would be relatively happy with how they've kind of wrapped up the story arc of Din Djarin and his journey with Grogu. So yeah, I think the Luke Skywalker and then just the relationship and the farewell. I think those are the highlights for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think the last moments with Grogu leaving and Din Djarin just standing there, I thought with like everything, but like the score in the background, and everything that was like the perfect moment. So even above Luke, I actually put that moment above Luke. That was like that was getting the reaction out of me. So that's like the highlight for sure.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing. Actually, Ludwig Göransson's score is phenomenal in this show. Ooh, especially this episode. Like that, the theme playing with Luke was so good.
Yeah.
I think I think it started out strong. I think towards the middle the season, they just like it just became generic, but they regained traction in this episode.
I do like Boba Fett's theme as well. That's actually
he has a cool theme. Yeah,
it's grown on me over time. I mean, I love his Empire Strikes Back theme, but that new one is growing on me.
Yeah. AJ.
I would say overall the action in this episode was pretty dope. That's one big positive takeaway. When Cara Dune and Phoenix Shaw are infiltrating this Imperial ship and just taking out stormtroopers left and right, pretty dope. The hallway scene with Luke was outstanding. I thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was fast. He was quick. Choreographed. The choreography was awesome, and so, and also I don't know if I would even say this is a positive for me, but a highlight is when Grogu and Mando are parting ways. That was I shed a tear, man. I was tearing up. It was very emotional for me, and also with the score playing as well was just phenomenal. But yeah, those were the positive takeaways for the finale for me.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you guys. Obviously, the score was phenomenal. It's grown on me. They definitely broke the traditional rules of Star Wars at first, but I enjoy where it's went, and it's really one of those positive progressions of a franchise that's been around for a very long time, in my opinion. And yeah, the real big takeaway that you guys haven't really said, AJ loosely touched upon it, but even expanding it further outside of just the Grogu and Din Djarin moment, which was phenomenal. I also almost shed a tear. Just all the character interactions of the main cast, the heroes. I really felt the camaraderie there. Bo-Katan sort of put her. She was faced with a crazy decision, and she put that all aside because it wasn't the time for it. She saw that her compatriot, had given so much to help her get in the ship in episode 3, just all the different moments that they've shared together. And of course she wants the Darksaber, but she was like, listen, he's saying goodbye to someone that is incredibly important to him right now. And so I'm going to take a step back. And it just showed what good writing does, even when you're not speaking. Every character has a purpose. And so while I did have gripes with the action and all that type of stuff this episode, and I do wish this guy on screen right now actually was a little more fleshed out, the main cast, our heroes, they all felt pretty on point. They felt like a unit, and I enjoyed their investment in each other's storylines.
Of course, I'm gonna have to agree on that. We also have to agree with Payne Reed. Like I said, he stepped it up. The pacing, choreography. I know some of you guys in here actually didn't like the choreography. I kind of enjoyed the choreography with Mando, and he did that back move. He kicked the staff back, pulled it up over his head. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I honestly enjoyed it for guys who are not really knowledge with using staffs and swords, of course. But also too, I think this particular episode, is something better that we in a movie that we have seen, and I know people have shredded to pieces so many times, but the girl power scene, those girls were doing work. They were all working, and they were like, it didn't feel forced. Like, of course, Endgame made it feel forced, and I still had a problem with that, even though I kind of saw that as just fan service for those particular characters. I feel like this was more genuine girl power. No, of course, SJW, none of that stuff. And also too, you touched on it that Friday, Chris. You're talking about Pedro Pascal's acting. I never really thought about it in the moment because, of course, I was so hyped up about Luke. But man, he's like Dom said, those 2 days he's in set, he's putting in some work of acting, feeling uncomfortable, showing emotion, just off his face and not saying a word. And for him to get emotional, have that emotion when a puppet is touching his face, it's really heartwarming, man. And it's just a great actor doing great stuff. And I feel like Pedro Pascal is continuing with it. And I'm excited to see where his career lands, because now he's getting some big roles. But yeah. So that's my positive notes. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is a season review. Overall, we're gonna get some 5 questions or 4 questions. Oh no, yeah, 5 questions of the season. So let's start with mChat. Which character, in your opinion, had the most development in this season?
I think it's gonna have to be Din Djarin. I think he's just had such a great arc, especially throughout this season. He's gone through being this bounty hunter who's very devout to the ways of what he assumes is Mandalore, when it's actually just the ways of Death Watch.
Yeah.
He's gone from that to forming this personal connection and realizing that matters more, I think. And it's a very compelling arc. And he's definitely, I think, going into like the next few seasons, if he gets really good story material, he could be considered one of the best characters in Star Wars.
Whew, damn, that's a
Thank
good
you,
take
Kurt.
right there.
Not necessarily like just from nostalgia perspective in that, but I think as a character, similar to Ahsoka, where they're just really well fleshed out characters, I think he could be up there.
Sir.
Yeah. Luke Skywalker. No, I'm kidding. I think yeah, it'd have to be Din Djarin, because he starts out one way, and then by the end, you feel like I think there were points in this season too where he was like he just wanted to get rid of the child, but by the end he kind of isn't really all about that. He's like, even when Luke asks, he's like, oh, he doesn't want to go with you. He's like trying to get him to go away, but he's like, no, he's just asking for permission, and he has to let him go. So it's like I really felt that connection, and I think he did have. I think he's like the only character who might have actually gotten development whatsoever. So it's like, yeah, it was. I think he had the most.
Yeah, I would have to jump on the bandwagon and agree. Mando, he's the man, and the development there was uncanny. Like, I think it was obvious that he was probably had the most development in the season, but we also saw that Mayfield had some development from season 1 to season 2 of this this series, and I really liked Mayfield's development as well, even though we don't get him as a main character. But yeah, Mando, Din Djarin for sure.
Yeah, is there a seat for me on that wagon, guys?
I hope so.
Yeah, sure. You can hop on the back.
I'm hopping on. I totally agree. It's one of those things where I wasn't happy with breaking the code, but I understand it from like a film viewer's perspective. How else can you get to really know a character other than like the facial expression and that emotion that only the face can give? There's only so much physical acting and situational dialogue can do. And they did it in a way that was not only necessary, but tasteful, especially in painting how much Grogu means to him. The moments he took the helmet off were for Grogu. And so when they separated, they really retconned season 1. I'll just leave it at that, because I actually cared about them and their relationship in season 2. When season 1, I was just like, man, I hope, the
Hope that kid doesn't die.
falls off the spaceship or something, and they forget him on Tatooine or something like that. And I was sad to see him
I think
go.
that was the point. I feel like they wanted to focus more on that relationship this season. And also just, kind of adding, last season as, these quests that they go on, but they really, had that focus so they could focus on this, in game, this in finale with that.
Yeah, and I think they achieved that, to be honest with you.
For sure.
So you guys, of course, are all in board with Mando, and that's an easy answer. But I'm gonna have to go. This is a bit of off-screen development, but Apollo Grief Kargas had some pretty well development there. He, of course, was a kind of scalper for bounty hunters, helping them out, and he saw how that city progressed. I think coming around with AJ, I think that's like we said in our previous spoiler talk, that was a fun episode, and it was great to see the progression of his character. Even though I feel like there's nothing really you could do with this character now, he's just kind of just a sheriff, you want to say. Cara Dune has some development too, in a way, joining the rebellion, and I feel like we're going to explore that more in the ranges of the New Republic. So I'm excited. I'm starting to get around with Cara Dune. Not too crazy about Gina Carano's acting, but I think the character is solid. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say for that. So favorite character, let's go with AJ, and then let's go to Chris, and then let's go to mChat, and then let's go to CERN.
I would say Mando is my top character in the series, but Cara Dune, I love Cara Dune. I know people aren't really feeling that character that much, and the acting is not necessarily there, but it's fun. I think that character is fun, and like you said, she is getting some character development.
Yeah.
I would watch a whole show with her, as a main character. So
That show where she's a main character with Rangers.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, so it's like I have my favorite main cast, which is Cara Dune as well. I think she's awesome. I enjoy the ex-rebellion soldier sort of coping with the horrible things the rebellion made her do. And I really hope that they explain why she was just so quick to get right back into the rebellion. I mean, that dude, that X-Wing pilot must have had some sales pitch. Like what they said off screen, he must have been like, look, like we're promising you benefits and like social security, like all the credit you need, you'll be set for life. Just come back for like 10 years. Like it must have been something crazy because so I want to explore that. But she impresses me every time she's on screen. And my favorite, extra character, maybe supporting cast is a better term, would be that X-Wing pilot, Paul Sung-yi. Because he's a diehard Star Wars fan. He's in one of my favorite sitcoms, very low-key show called Kim's Convenience that's kind of coming up right now. Keep your eyes peeled on it. I promise you it's all those actors are getting chances.
Is that the one that's got Samuli? Yeah, Samuli.
Exactly. I was just about to say he's going to be in that Marvel film, the Rings one.
Shang-Chi.
And he really just is what I want it's what I want a character who's meant to build the world to be. Someone who's going to give 110% to making you feel like you're living in The Mandalorian, not just watching it. So both of those guys, Cara Dune and his X-Wing pilot too.
mChat?
Is it me or is it Certain?
Oh, we do it. mChat and Certain, then back to me.
Okay. As far as the character goes, I mean, Din Djarin, he has the most development. He's the most compelling character, but I'm going to have to jump on the train of Boba Fett. I love that character now. Never did before. I always thought he was cool looking, but when people said he was like favorite Star Wars character, I was just thinking, what? He's never done anything. But then this season, episode 6 especially, he's a badass. I can't wait for his show. I think he's cool, and I think we'll probably talk about it at the end with his show, but so much potential with that. So much potential to really dive into the character. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do with him.
Yeah, I really like Boba Fett. I'm disagreeing with everybody. I'm going Mayfeld. That's my dude. That's my favorite character. I think Bill Burr is honestly a perfect casting choice for him because I think the character works because it's Bill Burr. So that may have something to do with it.
Yeah.
I just that's just a fun character, man. He has they give him good dialogue. They actually give him good dialogue. Bill Burr actually delivers on that dialogue, and he's a good shot. So he's kind of a cool character.
I'm gonna have to go agree with mChat. I'm gonna have to agree with Certain. Of course, Boba going into the season. You guys already know I wasn't a big fan of Boba coming out. I'm looking forward to the show. That says a lot. And Mayfield was cool, man. I really like the development they give him. Some great dialogue, some great tension. But I'm gonna go with and Timothy Oliphant was fun too, man. I love my boy Timmy. He was awesome in the first episode.
Awesome.
But I'm gonna go Fennec Shand. I thought she was cool, man. I thought she was cool. She was about that action. She was about that action. In that one episode, shooting guys top of the neck. Sniper in the Star Wars universe. I thought she was cool, man, and I'm excited to see that she's a side character. The way how she comes back is a bit, whatever. We talked about that. It's whatever. It's how she came back to life. Little bandage on the tummy, but no, man, she's a cool character. She's solid, and I think Ming Wen gives a pretty solid performance within her character.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so least favorite character.
Ooh.
This is easy. Frog Lady.
Real? Oh, I forgot my Frog Lady. She was awesome, man. She was awesome.
Yeah, definitely Frog Lady. And also Sasha Banks' character. She's not a good actress because, well, one, she isn't an actress, and
WWE.
just getting wrestlers in all the time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Dave Bautista is one of those cases where I think it does work. Dwayne Johnson, yeah, he is who he is. I think he does. He's
I
good,
disagree
he's
with
good at what he
Dwayne.
does. Oh no, I like Dwayne. I think he's good.
Yeah,
but like he's definitely typecast. He's kind of that Arnold Schwarzenegger of this generation.
Yeah,
where he basically does the same thing. Oh, I'm about to get to John Cena. No, I enjoy John Cena actually. I don't mind John Cena. I think he's fun in his roles. Again, it's like Dwayne Johnson as well, where he's typecast, but he kind of brings that presence and charisma to screen, I think.
I agree.
But Sasha Banks just, whenever she talks, just makes me cringe and want a fan of the character. She just felt like she was trying to be badass, but she's not.
Yeah.
That's how I feel anyway.
I agree with Ewan. I do. I don't know if she's like my least favorite character, but I agree with what he was saying. I don't know, man. I don't like Cara Dune. I don't really like her. So
I'm coming around with her.
I don't know. I enjoyed it last season, but this season was just like she's just. I don't like her. I don't like the acting, and she's just like I don't know. She doesn't really contribute that much. Like she does, but it's like she doesn't at the same time. So it's like from a story standpoint, she's crucial, but like I don't know. She just doesn't really do anything for me. So it's like yeah. She's a former wrestler as well, or MMA fighter.
Yeah.
So it's one of those cases where sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah, and that hurts me personally, but it's all right. That's all right. I respect your opinion on Cara Dune, but
what? I'm kidding.
Favorite. I guess I should have been thinking about this. I should have had an answer ready. Chris, you go ahead and then come back to me.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just say that the Marine is pretty much our generation Saving Private Ryan. We just haven't realized it yet. And other than that, it's just a joke about John Cena's like first official film, that terrible war film. I guess none of you guys saw it. It fell short. It kills in my circles.
Hey, I like that movie. I like that movie.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah.
It's the advertisement went off for no reason. It wasn't as good as they made it seem, but I guess that's a trailer. And something the trailers, this is why I bring it up, really lied to me about as well, was like the use of Giancarlo Esposito's character, and Moff Gideon just there and severely underutilized. I've already said it, but I'll say it again. If we have to pick a least favorite character, it's going to be good old Moff Gideon himself. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I have to. For me.
Hot take.
I would, I don't know if I would say least favorite, but he definitely lost some respect.
Biggest disappointment, I think.
Biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
And that's the second time that's happened to him this year.
Wasted potential.
Underutilized as well.
That's true. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That
Anyways,
sucks.
AJ,
They need to give him that Magneto role that everyone's fan casting him as.
that'd be cool.
There's potential there. I think he could nail that role.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I might have to go Frog Lady. I like the Frog Lady.
On.
That's a cop out. It's a cop
She's
out.
the goat.
Well, you could go Frog Husband.
Yeah,
Do
but
that.
we didn't.
He's not a character.
What about the other guy with the other guy that was with Bo-Katan? Where did he go?
Oh yeah, what happened to that
Oh
guy?
yeah.
They probably died
Now.
on a mission. I don't know.
When they were in the bar there in the finale, I was like, "Where's the guy? You know, is he gonna come out?" From
To be honest with you, I have a theory. Work with me on this. I'm pretty sure he was just in the bathroom because that scene happened so quick that he comes out and he's like, "Where the hell? Where the hell did everyone go?" I haven't went back and reviewed the footage. I don't know how many bowls of food there was and cups and drinks, but it's not completely broken, that theory.
Yeah. Not out of the picture.
It was kind of hard to.
They're going to give him a spin-off.
It was kind of hard for me to choose a least favorite character of the season because I really enjoyed pretty much all of the characters. Yeah.
Wish I could relate.
Yeah.
Wish I could relate. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what about the myth role, the blue guy?
I was gonna say him. I didn't like him. We talked about that, AJ. I really didn't like him. He was a bit orange. Yeah.
I didn't think he was that bad, honestly, but he wasn't. He probably would be like lower tier of the.
He was a little comedic relief. He was a little comedic relief.
Yeah.
What's
It's just
comedic
that.
relief called when it's not funny though?
Dang.
That's true.
Oh.
It wasn't
Attempt-
funny to me.
attempted comedic relief.
Personally, though, so
Yeah.
Uncomedic relief.
busting hilarious.
I'm just
Loud, but it was just kind of like a chuckle here and there.
Yeah. He's what do they call him? He's like an archetype. He doesn't really have anything to him. He's just there. He's just a
Yeah.
personality. He's just a personality.
there's humor, then there's Disney humor, and I hate when it's Disney humor. So that's my
Disney
issue.
humor is always like lower tier humor. It's like family
Yeah.
humor.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with the blue guy. Didn't really like him. You guys talk about the night owl guy. I kind of find him as like a Tamir Morrison bootleg. He kind of looks like a younger version of Tamir Morrison back when he was Django. I don't know. He just kind of looks like him in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of sad that he didn't pop up. They could have used him, but they didn't want to go that way. So did season 1 did anything better than season 2 in certain aspects?
Oh,
Um,
yeah. In my opinion, there is a huge factor. But whoever wants to go first.
You can go first.
Okay, well, this
There you
is just me personally. I feel like I've said before, season 1 really drew me in because it was Star Wars, but it wasn't the Star Wars that we knew, and we knew these characters. We didn't necessarily know the atmosphere and the different planets, even though we visited some of the same planets that we known. But overall, it was new, it was fresh. We had fresh faces, we had new characters, and that's what really drew me into this show. And that's kind of how it was advertised to me. Now, this season, we got a lot of characters that we already know from different, parts of the franchise. And then we got Luke Skywalker in the finale. And I was just like, yo, this is just kind of feels like Rise of Skywalker all over again in certain aspects.
It's not what I was promised. It's not what I was promised.
Exactly. I had to think about it. I'm like, they didn't really promise me this. This is something that I took, and I was like, this is what it is. But it really didn't turn out to be that way. So I had to love it for different reasons. I had to love this show for different reasons, and that's okay. But it kind of lessened my opinion of the show. Honestly, overall.
Yeah, the mic is muffling again, AJ.
Yeah, it's like inaudible.
Oh, it's inaudible.
Like I can hear you.
I heard
but
everything you
There
just
you go.
said, but now it's gotten a bit
Okay.
C3PO, I suppose.
Yeah,
it's
You're
all right
good.
now. It's
You're
all
back from being in the cockpit of an X-wing. For a second there, though, it sounded kind of like a bit intense, but I'm still gonna stand by no. Although I can see how someone would have your view, AJ.
Okay.
For me, though, it's just, and I know shows find their voice in later seasons, and I still don't think the show has found its voice. But there was just so much in season 1 that I just kind of felt like we're just being strung along here because really what else is on right now? And it's Star Wars, and it's got to be better than those movies we just got. It just felt like I was settling and enjoying it because they didn't offer me anything I liked, but they didn't mess it up further. But season 2, I got a lot of things I ended up really liking. So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I enjoyed this season way more. Before watching this season, I rewatched season 1, and I just found myself not liking it as much the first time I watched it. A lot of filler. There was a lot of this actually in season 1.
Oh no, we can't do our mission because we're out of milk. Guess we better get some at this new planet. Hey, we just need to get some milk.
We don't like Mandalorians, but we'll give you some milk if you kill the warlord monster bandit that's been using our Wi-Fi. Okay, well, here's your milk. Wait a second.
Oh no, Baby Yoda drank all the milk.
I feel like we got a lot of that season 1. Less of that season 2. There were some moments, of course, that I was a bit scared of season 2 doing, but no, we didn't get that many those filler monster of the week situations here. Not as much. I feel like not as much. in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I think season 2 started out better in that regard, but I still prefer the structure of 1 because it was at least the first 3 episodes were like really tied together in terms of what was going on. The middle three were like just kind of whatever, and then even though I enjoyed 6, and then 7 and 8 were like tied together with 1, 2, and 3 again. This time it was like 1, 2, and 3 are solid, and then it just does. I had no idea what was going on until this episode. I had no idea what, like, I think Baby Yoda disappeared, but then I thought, okay, this is not like the main objective of this season, is it? No, it turned out to be the main objective. So that was a disappointment, because last time around it was like you started one way, you kind of laid the groundwork in the first 3 episodes, and then you went back to it at the end. Whereas here there was no groundwork. It was just you're just moving forward without really like planning ahead. And then when you get there, it's like, okay, so what's the tie-in? I didn't feel any connection. I didn't feel anything, like any sort of strings that were like tying stuff together. So that's one thing that I think season 1 did better. I think they structured their episodes a lot better.
Yeah. No, I think for surely episode 7, 8 for season 1, like we talked about it was better setup, it was better connectiveness towards it. It left me in a cliffhanger. This season didn't do that, so I guess season 1 did that better in that aspect. So yeah.
I think that I like season 2 better, but I think if I wasn't such a massive Star Wars fanboy who just gets kicked out of all returning characters and everything, I would probably say that season 1 is maybe better because it's not just relying on nostalgia and fan service and everything. But as someone who enjoys the fan service, I was, satisfied with it. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it more.
And I feel like the fan service wasn't too shoved down on our throats too much.
No.
I feel like they maybe Luke, you could say Luke, but I feel like they handled Boba. Yeah. I feel like they handled Ahsoka. I feel like they handled Bo-Katan. I feel like they handled them pretty well.
Yeah,
I think Luke served the purpose, though. Like, obviously there was a Jedi had to come get Grogu. It made sense that it would be Luke because, one, there's not many Jedis around, and how many of those Jedis are actually trying to train other Jedis? Luke's really the only logical one within there.
How about a crazy idea?
Okay.
Is it really
quiet? But it's fine.
Very quiet.
Very quiet. How about this?
Are you all right now?
Right in a new Jedi. Is that too crazy?
I don't think the moment wouldn't feel grand with Cal Kestis. I know some people will be like, "Who's Cal Kestis?" Ezra. You're losing some storytelling right there with Ezra. I think it had to be Luke. I think it had to be Luke, in my opinion. I know, AJ, we talked about, I would
agree to disagree. But like I said, that Luke moment was epic.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, the moment was epic. I just want to know, like, how, because I agree with AJ. It doesn't, like, it has to be Luke from like a fan perspective, because like nobody would know like who it was if it wasn't Luke. But like when you're writing, does it really have to be Luke? Is Luke really the only person in that situation who can show up? I don't think that's the case. And it's especially convenient that he shows up when they're about to die. But anyways, it is. I think it's like you have, when it's fan service, I think it has to serve the story in some way, and this did, but it was also like a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek moment. So it's like, it's like both sides of the coin that way. So there's positives, negatives. I enjoyed the moment, but I think it could have been somebody else. I think it didn't have to be Luke.
Yeah, I feel like for me and my
It depends what they do moving forward. If it's just Luke appears, he takes Grogu, and that's all we see of him, there would be no point in introducing a new character. But if they're going to use the character moving forward, then maybe they could have brought in an entirely new Jedi character. But
agree.
I think if it's just the one appearance, Luke really just makes the most sense.
Yeah. And do you guys want to see? I'm not even gonna bring it up. I was about to say, do you guys want to see a Luke series? Because people have been throwing that out.
Nah.
AJ, I know. Look at AJ, man. He does not want. I'm putting through him pain right now. These.
I love Luke, but I think what's special about it is the fact that he's brought in for that one appearance, and I think you'd be trying to beat a dead horse, essentially, even though the horse is not dead.
They already have.
Yeah, they announced
They
that.
beat the dead
Oh.
horse. Yes.
Yeah.
I put in my
Yeah.
Star Wars 2 weeks notice if they announce that. I'm leaving respectfully, but I'm still leaving.
Yeah. No, I
Cover
agree.
your shifts, but I'm out.
I agree. That moment felt more special if that was one time, one and done. But of course, we're gonna get that in some way. Him finding the Jedi's that's left to grab. Some fans want it, some fans don't. Like AJ, we'll see. We'll see what they do. But de-aging a whole series, you're gonna need those MCU guys to come on board. Those, I feel like, I don't know how you guys feel about the MCU with the de-aging. I feel like they master it, in my opinion.
I think
And I
the
feel like
thing is with the
Obi-Wan-
de-aging with MCU is that the people that de-age generally look basically the same anyway. Like,
Yeah,
you look at Samuel L. Jackson, you don't even have to de-age him with CGI. You can just touch him up with makeup and he looks like he did in the 90s. And even with Michael Douglas, I think it's just removing the wrinkles and that. Generally, Michael Douglas looks, as good as he did. He still looks exactly like Michael Douglas, but Mark Hamill, he still looks like Mark Hamill, but he looks older. And
He looks
I
like a
think
different Mark Hamill.
he's a bit bigger in the face, especially, I think.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more, effects work that has to be done there.
Yeah.
Agree. So yeah, we'll see what they do with that. So we're gonna get into our episode grading. So we're gonna go our rankings of the episode and giving our grade. So let's start with mChat.
I'll just get my ratings up. So at number 8 in last place, episode 2, I'm going to give that a C+. Thought it was an enjoyable episode, but didn't really do anything for the overall season. Number 7 is episode 7. That might be a bit of a hot take. Again, enjoyable episode, but it didn't really offer all that much for me personally. Number 6 is episode 3. That gets an A-, which I thought it was a really enjoyable episode. Obviously brought in Bo-Katan, but I think the problem is that it was extremely short. I think it was the shortest episode of the season. Number 5, episode 4. Again, really solid side mission that was, a lot of fun to watch, but again, did not really offer much for the overall season, aside from the stuff with possible Snoke or Palpatine. Number 4, episode 1, I'm giving that an A+. That was just a really great introduction back to the season. Very big in scale. It was long, and the IMAX sequence just made it. Number 3, episode 8. I'm actually going to give that an A, even though it's higher than the A+. I think the reason why it is higher is because of Luke. But again, really solid episode, really satisfying conclusion. Number 2 is episode 5. Going to give that an A+ as well. Just a great episode all around that obviously brought in Ahsoka. We got a lot of backstory with Grogu. I love the samurai inspiration, and cinematography was surprisingly very good. And then at number 1, episode 6, I'm giving it an A+. It was quite a short episode once again, but I thought it was really tightly packed, really entertaining, brought Boba Fett back, and great action in my opinion.
Okay, so CERN, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm disagreeing with Ewan on that one. I think at the bottom is probably episode 6 for me. I might be giving that a, what did I give that? I'll just go ahead and say B- for lack of a better term. Above that, I'd probably go episode 5, with a probably another B-. Above, so that's bottom. That's number 7. Okay, number 6. I'd probably go with episode 4, which was the Carl Weathers one. That's probably a B. Number 5, let's go with, let me see here. Probably, okay, this one's tough. Okay, I think I'll go with episode, I'm missing something. Hang on here. I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm missing. Okay, I'll go with episode 8 at number 5 with a B plus, something like that. Number 4, I'll go with episode 3. I didn't say that yet. Yeah, episode 3 with a A-. Number, am I at 3 or 2? I think I'm at 3, right? I'll just say 3.
Yeah.
3 will probably be, or maybe I'm at 2. 2 is probably episode 2, and then episode 7, and then number 1 is episode 2. So that's probably my list.
Okay, and we got.
Total opposite to me with the first and last.
Yeah.
Swapped it around.
Hey man, I love the different opinions, man. It's always great. Chris.
Yeah, since I've pretty much left the stamp on each of these episodes throughout the course of, me, you, and AJ covering this, Matt, I'm just gonna go ahead with this specific episode, and I'm gonna give it a B+ because it's got the charm, it's got the courage, it's got the heart that I wanted, but there are some missteps. We covered most of them, and they are big enough to keep this out of the A category, but not big enough to bump it down to a C either. It's the highest B you can get. I enjoyed my time with Mandalorian season 2, and I can't wait for another season. So,
Yeah, cool. And AJ, you're muted.
You're muted, buddy.
Hopefully my mic is working.
It's good.
you sound
Yeah.
great.
Is it working? Is it
Yeah.
okay? It is okay. So I'm gonna be kind of quick with mine. So I'll go from least to highest, I guess. So number 4, The Siege, episode 4, I would give it a C+. Episode 2, The Passenger, C+. Episode 6, The Tragedy, I give it a B. The Believer, episode 7, that is a B as well. And then episode 1, The Marshal, a B. Episode 8, The Rescue, A. Episode 5, The Jedi, A. Episode 3 is my top, The Heiress, and I give that an A. I got that a 10 out of 10 for that one. And then I guess the season score, I'll give my season score a B+, just because what it means for the franchise. It's not quite an A, but I had a lot of fun with the season. So
Cool. And here's my grading. So here I go. Episode 2, The Passenger, I give it a C. That's coming in number 8. Episode 4, which one was that? The
Carl Weathers one.
Carl
Yeah,
Weathers,
Weathers,
yeah.
correct.
Fun episode. I'll give it a B-. It comes in number 7. Episode 6 comes in at no. Episode 7 comes in at a B, number 6. Episode 6, The Tragedy with Boba Fett, A-. Give it that comes in number 5. Episode 1 with Timmy, A- with a 4. That comes in number 4. Episode 3 comes in at number 3 with an A-. Episode 5 comes in at number 2 with an A, and episode 8 comes in at an A, and that's my favorite episode. And overall season grade, I'll give this an A. I actually liked it. Thought the characters they brought in, I'm differed from AJ when he doesn't want those characters. I 100% wanted those characters. I think it as a fan of Star Wars, I wanted to see them. So Anakin Skywalker give episode 8 a 9.1. So yeah, so that's pretty much counting down to an A. And I think that's gonna be it, guys. I think that's our show. Any final notes of the season? And final notes of the season. Then we'll get to the plugins. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the post-credit scene as well?
yeah, the Book of Boba.
Man, I forgot
was thinking
about that. Yeah, man. Let's talk about it. Book of Boba Fett. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
I know AJ's
Yeah,
thoughts.
What's AJ's thoughts, man?
What's AJ's thoughts?
Yeah, I am skeptical of this series. I hope they do this character justice. I think that season 2 they have done this character justice. It's just not that exciting for me because it's a character that we already know in this world. That's part of the Skywalker saga. I'm ready to put Skywalker to bed and get some new Star Wars characters because I know this world is bigger than just the characters that we know and these planets that we know. So.
But they won't let you admit that. They will not do that.
Right. They want to bank on our nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I didn't grow up with Star Wars. Like, I love the franchise, but I didn't grow up with it. So it's not as nostalgic as it is for some people.
Yeah.
So I feel like I thought that was what The Mandalorian was giving us, but not quite after season 2.
Yeah, if it isn't as big as we think, this is the craziest Truman Show that they've ever, like, big corporations have ever pulled off, man.
Right.
Yeah, so it excites me to the extent that the Ahsoka spinoff excites me. I'm with AJ and everything he's saying. It's just kind of like, cool, love these characters. We know that they're solid. This season they blew us away, of course. I mean, even though we don't want the nostalgia dump after nostalgia dump or the fan service if it's not an older character.
Or do we?
Ahsoka.
I don't know.
I personally don't, but they at least do it well. So it's like, I'm going to watch it because I love Star Wars. And the television sector of Star Wars seems to be the saving grace since this Disney acquisition. But I'm not thrilled on it in particular. I mean, Boba the Hutt isn't something I was writing a fan fiction of in 5th grade when I was supposed to be in math paying attention. But I was like, I love Star Wars so much. I'm here just doodling stuff. Not really looking forward to it, but of course I'm going to watch it. And of course I hope it's good. And if it's not, I'll destroy it like the other Star Wars things that aren't good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go now. So, do any of you guys remember Star Wars 1313? The cancelled video game.
I heard of that. The canceled TV show. Yeah.
So, it was cancelled video game. So that was going to be Boba Fett centric, like action adventure third person shooter. I think it was set in the lower levels of Coruscant, and I have a feeling that the show could be almost like a successor to what that was going to be, where it's delving into the criminal underworld, which is kind of what we thought Mandalorian might be because it's bounty hunters and stuff. But I think that this could be properly diving into the criminal underworld, Boba Fett kind of being the head of the criminal underworld now. I think there's a lot of potential to make it maybe a little bit darker as well. So I'm excited for it. I think it has potential. Hopefully it lives up to that potential, but I guess we'll just have to see when it comes out.
Yeah. I agree with what Chris was saying because I think the thing is that the movies are really low standard. So to be better than them is not hard. But so then when you do that, you still have like a decent amount to go before you reach average. So it's like, you have a bar that you have to surpass, but that bar is like really like set really low. So to say something is better than the sequel trilogy to me is like not really saying that much. So I think Boba Fett show, I think that has the potential to be what we haven't gotten with Mandalorian, to be exact. So I'm looking forward to the show. Hopefully it's better than Mandalorian. That's my hope. And I'm sure it will be good, but never cross your well, I mean, you should cross your fingers, but never bet on Star Wars. That's what I will say.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Ewan. I just kind of want this anti-hero adventure of Boba Fett. Needs more to be more mature. I kind of saw that he just shot up Jabba's little friend who got big like Jabba. He shot him up, killed him, and took the throne. I just don't want it to be him sitting at throne in Brilliant Palace. I need him to explore different planets with Fennec Shamp. I think that's fun adventures you can have there. But yeah, I want to see that because Mando kind of grew out of that bounty hunter role. Boba's still in there. He's still in that bounty hunter role, and I want to see explore the bounty hunters because, like Chris said before, we've seen the bounty hunters of Empire. They're just cool characters standing behind Darth Vader. Let's explore them. Let's explore Boss. Let's explore IG unit. Let's explore these bounty hunters. So yeah, and yeah. So final notes before we head out and of the show. Anything we haven't said?
It was enjoyable, man. It's got me on board for the Disney TV era. They can still mess it up, but I hope they don't. So short and sweet.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the show. I think they have areas that they need to improve on, especially writing and fight choreography, especially after this season. But other than that, I think they're doing a decent job of getting people to like the show. So just continue that.
Yeah, it's improved 2020, I'd say. I mean, generally, it's obviously not been a very good year, but Mandalorian week to week, it's always been exciting. I think just the conversation on social media and everything, people are talking about it, and it's exciting. It's something for people to talk about generally positively. I think most people have been positive about this season with all the fan service and that. There's obviously been some people that I don't want to say they've been negative, but been critical, which is very understandable. But for the most part, Star Wars fans especially have been a lot happier, I think, and it's been the conversation within Star Wars, circles has been a lot kinder than it has been with the sequels and the prequels and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that was well put. Very well put.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear me? Is my mic doing okay? I got to check before I go on my little spiel. So I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I am going to say I really hope that season 3 of The Mandalorian takes a different direction. Not as much nostalgia dumping as in fan service. I want the creators to get creative and maybe write some new characters, some new planets, some, taking some more risks, not getting saved by Luke Skywalker in a very convenient way. I hate to hate on that because it was an awesome moment, but it just felt really safe. Like we were saying, we've said this before. It feels like Disney-esque, and like I just wish it kind of took more risk. I need somebody to a main character get stabbed in the in the shoulder or something, and get hurt. It doesn't feel like the stakes are real after a while. So hopefully, moving on to season 3, we get that.
Yeah. Anakin Skywalker, episode 1, 9.1, episode 2, 8.8, episode 3, 8.5, episode 4, 7.9, episode 5, 9.6, episode 6, 9.2, episode 7, 9, episode 8, 9.3. So episode 5 is his favorite. I can agree on that. I think episode 5 was enjoyable. So yeah, I have to agree with you guys. I want the show to break the formula in season 3. I want it to be different. When it comes to the storytelling, it can't be X planet go to Y planet to, like we saw with that little video I put. The characters were enjoyable. The moments were big. As a fan of Star Wars and a fan that needs something like this, I completely was on board with it, enjoyed it. And for Luke Skywalker to come out at the end of 2020, which honestly has been a hard year, and it's been a hard couple of days personally for me. And in this 2020 overall, Luke Skywalker being that symbolic hope figure that was back in the 80s and it comes back to return. The return of the Jedi was something I really needed, man. I really needed that, and it was a fun ride to react and to talk with you guys every Mondays. This was a great time. Let's get to our plugins. So CertainVids, where they can find you, buddy.
Well, thank you for having me on. I did enjoy being here. You can find me on YouTube at CertainVids, at Twitter, Instagram, and on Letterboxd. Those are the 3 main ones that I am on. I've got a couple of live streams coming up this month, and then a couple of big projects that I'm working on for next year. So definitely that I can't really reveal right now. So definitely stay tuned. Stuff coming soon. Live streams. And yeah, thanks for having me once again.
Of course. And Ewan from mChat.
Yes, you can find me over on mChat on YouTube. I've got a few reviews coming up in the next couple of days. I've got a review for Iron Man 3, Midnight Sky on Netflix, and Die Hard 2 on Christmas Eve. And then you can also follow me on Twitter at mChat at m_chat_YT. Same on Instagram, same on Letterboxd as well, I think.
Yeah, shout out for him to coming by, and AJ.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Bro, thank you for having me these past 8 weeks, talking Mando, hanging out, chilling. Has been awesome. So thank you for that. I am looking forward to working with you again soon on some other shows. And so I'm AJ from AJ Reacts 2. You can find me on YouTube. I react to trailers, talk about movies, and talk about gaming and TV, music, all that kind of stuff, entertainment, pop culture, things like that. So it's the end of the year, so not a whole lot more videos are coming from me, probably about 2. and I'm going to be making a video about my top 10 2020 films and probably like my top 30, 40 films of all time. I'm very excited for that. So that's going to come before the end of the year. And then I have some, projects for the next year that I am still trying to work on. I want every single one of you guys involved if you are willing to do it. So, again, thanks for having me. And
And Chris from Talking TV.
Yeah, Matt, this has been an awesome time, man. I really appreciate you reaching out to us and thinking of having us on. I say us because I'm a part of the Talking TV podcast, which is hosted by myself and my co-host Dom, the movie nerd. I play the role of the TV nerd in that show, and we basically talk about life, movies, TV, and pretty much everything in between. We cover hot button news to our rankings of some sort of obscure sitcoms that have been off the air for a while that we still care about a little more in the shape and form of The Office and Community than most care about these days. So if you're into anything from Star Wars to sitcoms to Marvel films, find us. It's at Talking TV Podcast as below right there, and on YouTube at Talking TV. Matt, I want to wish you, everyone here on the panel, and your community a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays, and stay safe. And thanks again. This has been an honor to be a part of this each week with you, man.
And as my fire alarm goes off, thank you guys for enjoying this. I kind of want to speak kind of loudly because the fire alarm over here is crazy. Season 1 finale, I choose because, someone read this. Let me get this.
Yeah, season
I'll-
1
I'm
finale,
gonna
I choose. Because it was more original, but even though season 2 is a fat bag of fan service, it does a pretty good job at molding it all together. Boba Fett is now my favorite.
As my fire alarm conveniently now turns off and goes back on. Thank you guys. See you guys next time. Blessing for all. Deuces.